Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Hell. It's me, Norman Reedus, and the Fantastic Fetus.
And it's me, the Luminary, from every single Dragon Quest game.
And I actually lied. This isn't the Nerd Hell podcast. It's a special episode. Top 10 Pokemon I would date in real life.
Is Lickitung one of those? Is that your favorite? Is Lickitung?
Lickitung is number 7. So
at
number 1, we got none of them because they're not real. They're fake creatures, and I need to stop living in a fantasy setting where I date animals. And at number 2, we have Hitmonlee.
Okay, great. Well, I feel like that's an open question for whether or not you're going to be in an abusive relationship, especially because Hitmonlee has the word hit inside of it. So, yeah.
You know what? I'm attracted to dangerous men. So,
oh, shit. Okay.
How was your week today, Stanley? How was your week today? Yeah, that's a sentence that makes sense.
Man, like, work's been kind of a nightmare, really, honestly. So I'm kind of enjoying this 4-day weekend that we have right now for Labor Day, because, we got to celebrate a socialist holiday in the United States by just having everyone not work. That's great. It's awesome. It's wonderful. The other part of me is kind of dealing with some scheduling issues, but other than that, I think I'm doing fine with everything. What about you? What's going on with you?
I recently got a new job where I work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. But I only work 3 days a week, so I get 4 days off, so it balances out.
Okay. That's cool, dude. Yeah, man.
Speaking of balancing out, a couple of mini stories real quick, because I don't have many, at least not many that interested me. Did you know that Sonic Colors Ultimate came out on the Switch?
That's Sonic Colors
Ultimate?
Okay, no, I did not know that.
Apparently, it's incredibly buggy, incredibly glitchy, so much so that Nintendo themselves are offering refunds for Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah, damn. Nintendo, not Sega. Straight up Nintendo.
Straight up Nintendo. Okay, great. Because
So
we know how Nintendo loves their IP. Yeah, I think that is hilarious. That's fucking great.
On top of that, everybody knows that I am super excited for Nintendo All-Stars Brawl. No, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Basically Smash Bros. But you can play as SpongeBob. And it comes out on my birthday, October 5th. So now I know what my family's going to get me, most likely, if they get me anything at all.
Is a Sonic game?
No, Nickelodeon Smash Bros.
Nickelodeon Smash Bros, right? I'm not gonna lie, I zoned out for a second. That's how rough this week's been. I'm sorry, I was not I really should pay attention more, but fuck, dude. I always do. That's how rough it's been, my guy. That's it.
I think it'd be hilarious if, like, our single fan, it's like, can't wait for the next episode, and there is no next episode.
Oh my god. No, there's not. Anyways, I mean, hey, shout out to the next movie we're gonna be watching. It's one of my favorites. So
hell
I'm interested to see what your reaction about this is. I was just thinking, because if you do not have like anything tomorrow, we should just do it tonight, watch it tonight, and then like record the next thing tomorrow.
Ooh, behind the scenes, folks.
I don't know. Still, we'll talk about this later. But
absolutely.
Anime fact of the day. It's not quite anime because it's Dragon Quest, right? So Dragon Quest is one of my all-time favorites, right? Because it's like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy sucks because Dragon Quest is better in every single way than Final Fantasy. Fight me on this one. I will win. Now, Dragon Quest, when it was first released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the name actually had to be changed in the United States because of a copyright issue. Dragon Quest had to be changed to Dragon Warrior because Dungeons and Dragons had a campaign called Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Quest. So they had to change the name because of copyright in the United States. And so if you look for a lot of older Dragon Quest games, there's some games that are called, Dragon Warrior instead.
That's actually pretty interesting. But when you said for copyright, I was like, please don't say Dragonlance. Please don't say Dragonlance.
No, it's
Which
because it's
is
the like Simulation Productions, had the Dragon Quest SPI, the stuff, and they couldn't do it. And Dragon Quest was not brought to the United States until like the 1980s, right?
hmm,
So it was they had just bought the property for that IP, that name in the United States, and then when they wanted to port the game over here, they couldn't do it because obvious reasons, right?
yep. And speaking of Dragonlance, a little bit of self promotion. Movie Butter comes out this Thursday, folks. Be prepared for that.
Oh yeah, did we get some of those issues fixed? Or
We did
not?
the best we could.
We did the best we could. Okay, great. My audio is not crunchy, was it?
Oh no, it was fantastic. Oh, and
Okay.
also, here's a weird question: would you consider Hello Kitty to be anime?
I would.
You
I mean,
would?
if it's
Okay.
made by Sanrio, I mean, the definition of like anime is just, cartoons made in Japan, right?
I don't know. I didn't know it was Japanese, but it was like something I've always wondered. And speaking of Hello Kitty, oh God, I'm sorry, Hello Kitty. Uh, she is coming to Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't really think that you should stuff a cat inside of a monkey ball, but whatever. I
Well,
mean,
what about the monkeys?
didn't they stick
So,
the Monster Hunter thing in there too?
yes, they did. So,
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania because I had Super Monkey Ball Deluxe on the GameCube. That was like one of the games that me and my sisters would always play together. And Banana Mania, it's a remaster and a collection of 1, 2, and Deluxe. And
Mm-hmm.
they're having the weirdest DLC right now. Because I always thought that Super Monkey Ball was like one of those small games, like that's super fun, but not everybody knows about. No, this thing is massive. Everybody wants to be in this game.
Mm. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. I mean, I don't know. I've never really been a fan of like Super Monkey Ball, especially because like the games that I could choose from my parents, they always limited my time anyways, right? So, like it was if I had to choose one game, I would always choose the one that's like 100 hours or so. That's why I like RPGs because they're hundreds of hours and I could buy one of them and then be entertained for that long, right? So, Super Monkey Ball though, like I feel like would be one of those of I would not feel satisfied if I were a kid with my very limited time of TV time because I only had an hour a day of TV time. So
You know what?
that
You know
sucked.
what? So here's the funny thing. Uh, your parents were almost as strict, but not as strict as China. For people who don't know, this is something you can find in the South China Morning Post, a news company dedicated to Chinese news for American viewers such as myself. It says that China is now limiting gaming time for children, so basically anybody under 18, to 1 hour a day on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays.
Hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, so they got a watchdog for gaming and forms of social media that have issued the rules to children in order to combat video game addiction, right?
Yeah.
And the NPPA says that video game companies are the main entities responsible to stop video game addiction, right?
Right.
So basically, what China is trying to do, well, what it already has done, is it implemented rules to make sure that children can't play video games for too long. But they're also saying that video game companies need to take actions to enforce these rules as well, like in-game timers saying, "Hey, 1 hour's up, go outside or something."
Mm. That's weird. I don't know. Because here's the thing, right? Is that like out of all the countries that have tried to like be successful on moderating the internet, China's one of the very few, right? Because I always like was very skeptical of when like a government or entity would be like, "Hey, I'm going to control the internet or I'm going to control whatever," because, right, there's always someone who's a lot smarter than some of the censors on the internet. So, hearing this, I do think there should be a limited time, right, for like video games or that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure that this is going to help considering that I actually did read up on this story before we talked about it, and one of the things that I noticed was that kids would oftentimes use their parents' ID from their ID card to log on and then just like play for a number of hours, right? So how are they going to get around that kind of thing?
Honestly, no clue.
Right?
Because what I was thinking is like I understand that limiting game time for children is like a necessity, right? Because as funny as go outside and touch grass is, it's actually very important to stay healthy and active. Um, but I was thinking 1 hour a day on the weekends and holidays. I think that's too little time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of worked for me, but then I went the other way, right? After college, I played video games nonstop.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
exactly.
would go to my, I would go to my job, and then I would come home, sleep, eat, and play video games, and then like go to my job, and then come home, sleep, eat, and play video games, and that kind of shit. So I don't really know if that's gonna be good because it's one of those of if you remove the temptation early on, what happens when they actually do have the temptation? Then they're just gonna go out and like overindulge on it, right?
Well, I don't think
It's
it's about removing temptation. I think it's about if you remove the restriction while the temptation has always been there.
Well, it's not even that, right? So some of the most partied kids that I saw back when I was in college came from sheltered homes. They had homes where it was parents that would basically monitor every aspect of their life, and then when they got to college, their parents couldn't do that anymore, and they still had good grades, but they would go out during the weekends and like get fucked up because that's their thing because their
Hmm.
parents can't tell them no, you can't do that anymore.
Hmm.
So
And
I
I use that power to get Carl's Jr. every day for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's one of those of how how is this going to be good for them or even for the video game industry within China too? Because obviously video games are like a billions of dollar like industry, right? So China is one of the biggest consumers of video games there. Now, will I be glad that I'm not playing with Chinese players that, use cheats and mods and that kind of shit when they play their video games? 100%. Why do you think that I've gotten out of the whole multiplayer phase and gone back to some of the old first person classics and like explored RPGs more? Because
Overwatch will be great again.
dude, I don't know. I honestly think that Overwatch will never be great again because Blizzard is a fucking awful company. But my contention though is the people who use mods and who use cheats could probably figure a way around the Communist Party system. So I mean, comrades, I get it. Trust me, I do. You want to make it good for everyone, but listen to me. Listen to Comrade Stanley. One of the few socialists in Texas. I'm going to tell you right now, it might not go the way that you think it does, so just plan for that.
How I would do it is like I would do it one of two ways, right? I would either do like 1 hour on weekdays and like 4 hours on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Or if you don't want them to play on the weekdays, that's fine. No video games on the weekdays, but then let them have the weekend. Come on.
Well, I mean, you know about like what 996 is in China?
Yeah, you work from 9 to 9, 6 days a week.
Yeah, they just ruled against that in China too, but like there's a lot of ways to get around that too that like Chinese companies have found to do. So it's one of those things of like you see the communist government trying to put in these things, but then like obviously their citizenry is just kind of like, nah, fuck you, we're gonna do this. So I am I'm honestly interested because China is not the type of government that would be afraid to people if like they found workarounds to just ghost those people and then destroy their work, right, to get around the system. I just don't know what more they can do peacefully without that option being there. But I mean, you're not going to ghost children because they're playing like 2 hours of video games a day. Oh shit, this kid is addicted to Dragon Quest. Fucking kill him right now. Like that's I don't think that that's going to be like that's not a thing, right? It's not.
There's no way his MMR could be that high in League of Legends.
Oh no. Yeah, what was the old joke about League of Legends is that League of Legends, like from Video Game Donkey, used to say like the whole point of LOL is that you try to beat the other team before they teach you how to speak Russian. So I was I think it's a good idea, especially because there is a lot of I think it's both a good idea and a bad idea. I'm not sure which one. I'm on the fence on this one with the CCP on this one. I do think kids do need more socialization time, but what happens to that socialization time with their group of friends is like video games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because wouldn't that be detrimental then to their friendship? But then the other part of it is, China has such a toxic workplace culture and such a toxic school environment and a toxic whatever, that it's good that the Chinese are actually noticing that and trying to actively fix that. Again, I don't know. Like, it's that other thing of, like, have you seen some of the reforms that they're trying to put in, not only with work culture, but with the school?
Nope.
Robinson?
Oh, sorry. Nope.
No, you've not read anything about, like, China banning homework or that kind of shit?
Holy shit, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they banned excessive homework, and they also banned excessive tutoring times, because they had tutorial classes that would go, especially from when they got out of school at 5:30 to 9. And, yeah, because of how competitive the marketplace is within China and how competitive the school system is, it's becoming such a factor that it's leading children to have early suicide rates. So,
That's terrible.
Yeah, no,
well, you know what?
It's fucking awful.
You know what? Every place has their own problem. Good on China for trying to ban homework.
I honestly, dude, like, homework, it's one of those things of, like, I have to say it fucking sucks. I hate it. I would love to have no homework in class. I would love to have, like, that kind of shit, but unfortunately, these motherfuckers don't read. So,
also, like, I remember back in high school, homework was not a factor to be worried about. Like, I could finish homework during class.
Yeah,
and now,
you also
and now that
didn't have, like, 12 hours of homework a weekend, right? So
Exactly. And now that I'm in college, it's like, oh, hi, you showed up. Here's what you gotta do. Now get the fuck out of my office.
Oh.
Get out of my goddamn presentation room, you filthy baboon. I'll see you next week.
Oh, no.
I'll see you next week when you turn in your homework.
Damn. Well, hey, dude, like, I don't know. Good on China. Good for them. Good for that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to play video games that much longer, especially with the, like, chip and shortage, like, component shortage for, like, video game consoles. Because here's my next news story, is that the PS5 and Xbox Series X component shortages may last until 2023. I know that you're laughing. I can hear that laugh. That's the laugh of pain, my guy.
It's a laugh of sadness, and I purposely turned my head from the mic.
Oh? Why was that? You're upset that you're not going to be able to buy a PS5 or Xbox Series X?
This is supposed to be a happy podcast where we make people happy, and I'm just getting sad.
Well, dude, component shortages keep limiting the production of the PS5 and, like, the Switch and then Xbox Series X, and they're going to be going all the way through the end of the year. But Toshiba, which is the company that kind of creates a lot of power regulating chips, which are used from basically everything from, like, cars to consumer electronics, the director confirmed to Bloomberg that the supply of chips will remain in very tight until at least September next year, with some customers not being served until 2023. And obviously, if they were going to choose between building chips for cars or building chips for PS5s, what do you think that they're going to choose?
You telling me that the PS5 doesn't make as much money as the car industry?
No, it doesn't. Like, here's the thing, is that, like, you can buy, like, the chips that are made for cars are more complex and more expensive, right? So obviously there's got to be something there that it's a profit motive, right? Why would the Toshiba director even say this? Because, I mean, hey, right? It's just one of those things of, with the pandemic hitting, one of the weird things about the pandemic is that no one in business saw the trend, because everyone thought that there was going to be, like, not people buying anything. So they, like, lowered production, lowered everything, and then guess what happened? All of a sudden there was an increased demand for electronics, and there was an increased demand for, like, wood and services and, like, homes and industry, which is kind of weird because you would think if you were in business school, one of the things that they tell you is that when there's going to be an economic shortage or economic slow turn or a pandemic or something like that, you usually want to slow production because there might not be people that would be able to buy these products. And guess what's happening? We have the opposite happening. So now we're in chronic shortages because these companies turned down their production and could not produce in the first place because of the pandemic. And then now they're kind of fucked, right? Because they don't have the components that are able to make these products. I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird how we kind of fucked up that was like one of the big things of like, oh shit, we forgot. Oh man, it did not turn out the way we thought it was gonna do.
That's not a oh damn we forgot moment. Oh damn I forgot is like I forgot to give the dog water, right?
Right.
Because like she won't die of me. She'll be a little thirsty. I shouldn't do it, but it's okay. This isn't one of those. It's okay. This is a 2-year long delay.
Well, no, because this has been going on since like what, 2020. So this is going to be a 3-year shortage. Yeah, a 3-year shortage, which is funny because it's one of those things of I was really lucky when I was deciding whether or not to buy a PlayStation like 5 or get a GTX 3080. I went for the GTX 3080 because of what happened when I tried to buy a PS5. Did I ever tell you that story of what happened?
No, what happened?
No?
No.
Yes? No?
No, what
okay.
happened? What is wrong with my mic?
Yeah, well, what happened is that I was in class and like it was about to be 6th period, but they were having like a new PlayStation like release on Walmart's like channel, right? So I went in, I registered my email, had all my information put in because Walmart has that thing where you can do the buy now and it skips the payment page and that kind of shit. It just goes to the whatever. And so I placed everything there. I had the money. I was ready to buy. And then 2 o'clock happens on the dot. I click, press pay. All of a sudden, my phone goes off and it says that Chase has blocked my purchase. That Chase thought that I was committing a fraudulent purchase. Right? Now here's the issue. I have never ever in my entire fucking life had Chase block one of my card purchases on sketchy websites for Japan, on like, watch company stores, on anything. And the first time in 12 years that I like actually want to buy something that's in a rush and I had it in my cart and the payment went through, Chase rejects my card. So Chase is the reason why I don't have a PlayStation 5. Yeah, JP Morgan Chase. I'm so glad that JP Morgan is rotting in hell right now. So
good for him.
I know.
He can be on the podcast next.
He can be on the podcast next? Nah, fuck that. He's a rich douchebag.
That's where people end up to if you die, you end up on this podcast one way or another. We'll get you.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
But no, that's goddamn awful because haven't you like straight up used Google Translate and bought off of Japanese websites before?
Yeah. I have, right? Like I've bought the Japanese I've bought Japanese editions of Dragon Quest online and like through like these really sketchy sites. I've even bought like figurines too from Japan that were knockoffs of like stuff, right? So it's not like Chase was there for me like, hey, well, this might be a scam. No, they did it for a completely legitimate website, Walmart. Yeah, I was so mad.
Oh my God,
I was so fucking mad that I had to go into 6th period. I had to go in and teach kids while there. Well, I was like upset and I had to like, the good thing is that they were taking a test. So I just sat there fuming, but like I texted Savannah and I was like, I'm devastated. Like I'm upset. And she's like, what's happening? I'm like, I'll tell you later. And then my mom got mad at me because I couldn't buy the PS5 and whatever, but still. I
I've only had that situation happen to me once, and it saved my life. But I feel like it wasn't out of the goodness of Chase. It wasn't Chase being like, "Don't worry, customer Robinson, we got you." It was more or less that if they didn't do anything, they would be in trouble.
Mm,
Because I went to the movies, right, and I bought my ticket. It was like the tickets were at the front gate, right?
yeah.
And then I went inside to buy some popcorn, right?
Okay.
So in between that, there was a $1,000 withdrawal on my card,
There was a
which is
1,000 withdrawal. Okay.
yeah, which was funny because I had like maybe $100 in there. That was when I was in high school.
Ah.
So having $100 in my account wasn't a crisis time. It was a cool time, and luckily it happened in California. So my how it looked like in my thing was Texas purchase, California purchase, Texas purchase.
Great.
And,
Oh,
and Chase,
damn.
yeah, and Chase called me up saying, "Hey, there's no way you could have gone there and back within 1 minute, so we're gonna forgive the California one."
Oh. Okay.
But like, I can't help to think, what if I didn't buy popcorn? Would they have been like, "I don't know, man, you went from Texas to California so quickly"?
Yeah, you see, here's the problem is that Chase never once, for me, did something like that, right? I've had thousands of dollars stolen off my card for other things that they're just like, this seems normal. And then they did that for fucking Walmart. But still, I I have grown since then. Yeah.
No, not maturity, not emotionally. I've just grown angrier.
You just grown angrier. Just great. Dude, I don't know, but still. So the whole thing with the component shortage is that like basically the guy that's the head of Toshiba's factory is just kind of like, yeah, this sucks. Sorry, but that's it. Because honestly, think about this from like a standpoint of business too, right? Is that if you're someone like this guy from Toshiba, you're making bank off the shortage, right? People want your product. The product has never been in higher demand. You could charge more for your prices too on that, and they have. So it's not like Toshiba's not going to be turning profits in the next quarter. So whatever, right? They're completely fine with it.
If it's good for business, it's good for me. Now hang on while I make a shortish out of my kidneys.
You make a shortage out of your kidneys? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if like anyone's gonna want some bloody organs. I think they want those microchips, Robinson.
I have nothing to give you but the organs off my body. No, it can't. It can't run Miles Morales Spider-Man, but
It can't run Miles Morales, but it can run you.
It can give you. It can give you the ability to drink anything that isn't water.
Ah, shit. Well, you know what else gives you the ability to do anything? The Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
So apparently, and I just discovered this on our gaming or on our Nintendo, but apparently there was a Nintendo Entertainment System add-on to the NES called "I Am a Teacher: Super Mario Sweater" for the Famicom. Players would input their measurement sizes, and then they would begin designing their sweaters by adding 8-bit styles or graphics of characters from Super Mario. And then once the design was set, the player could send it to Royal to get a sweater manufactured in their design for 2,900 yen, which is like $29.
No joke. That
Yeah,
sounds like a Super Nintendo thing to do. But also, that'd be awesome.
yeah, that would be, right? Because then you can honestly have your own fucking ugly sweater with Princess
Exactly.
Peach getting like demolished by Bowser. I don't know. Or would they even have the 8-bit for that kind of stuff though? Well, because the other thing though is that like
We'll get creative.
the knitting machine, right, is you could also have it plugged up and then it would show you from like the TV screen, right, the pattern on how to make it yourself. So yeah, like if you're like this old grandma, then you could buy a Super Nintendo and make a your son or whatever some like ugly Mario sweater. Because I'm looking at some of the designs too, is that for the Super Famicom, like the I Am a Teacher, knitting machine, is that they even had some designs from like Dragon Quest where they have like the golem or the slime from Dragon Quest. So I would totally buy this, especially because Savannah likes knitting a lot, right?
Yeah, that's straight up adorable, and that 100% sounds like a Nintendo thing to do, because Nintendo, they're all about that blue ocean market. You've heard about the blue ocean market, right?
No. Explain it to
Oh,
me.
so basically the blue ocean market is what Nintendo does. Aha, I made a joke. Um, But Blue Ocean Market basically means that instead of trying to create better experiences for that already exist, you want to create new experiences that don't exist yet. For example, the Nintendo Wii, right? Because Nintendo could have made like the GameCube too, or like try to go the Xbox and PlayStation route, where they try to just make better systems, well, more powerful systems. But instead, they were like, you know what, screw that. We got to find a new way to play video games, which is how the
Yeah.
Wii came out. And
Oh.
sometimes, yes, that's what the blue ocean market is. Just instead of trying to improve on existing experiences to make different experiences, which is what Nintendo prides itself on. And it's what got us a Wii U, but it's also what got us a Switch.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm back and forth on the Wii U, right? Because the Wii U wasn't really an evolution in like video game consoles.
hmm Well,
I
they were
mean,
like, what could we force onto the Wii to make it different? Another screen. I will say this. I think the Wii U could have done much better if they made games that actually used that goddamn gamepad. Because
really.
Nintendo Land was one of the funnest experiences I had in my life. I love asymmetric video game experiences. So
Mm.
like Mario Mud Chase and Luigi's Ghost Hunt. Like no joke, probably 200, 400 hours just playing that with my sisters. And
Really.
also Game and Wario. Game and
Yeah.
Wario was another game that actually utilized the Wii U gamepad.
There you go.
Yeah.
What can I say? I don't know. I didn't own a Nintendo Wii or a Wii U because that was a dark age of Nintendo for me. So I
uh,
couldn't do it. I
uh,
couldn't. I couldn't bring it.
I like when you say Dark Age of Nintendo because I just imagine like peasants in the streets dying from leprosy, and at Ye local shop there's just a copy of Mario Galaxy 2.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
hmm So speaking of leprosy, I gotta go redress my bandages. So we're gonna do that for the break time.
Shit. Okay.
Everybody, sit tight, and we'll return.
Or don't. I can't control your life.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. Don't sit tight. Sit loosely. Go ahead and man spread in that chair. I don't care where you are. You listening to this on the bus?
Spread those
Go
legs
ahead.
wide
Do
open.
it.
Whatever. I don't know. Don't or don't. Okay. Bye.
Hello. It's me, a businessman with a new video game idea, and it's you, the Nintendo Board of Directors.
Sure is.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So, I know that you guys love your peripherals, love your games. So, how about this? A can opener video game. Lame
Great.
idea, right?
Who's the market to?
Everybody. Children, adults, old people, cats even.
Well, there could be some reasons that, I don't know, maybe that, like, for legal reasons, we can't promote this game to children.
Well, here's now. Now, here's the kicker. We sell a can opener peripheral.
Okay?
And there we go. Boom. New Nintendo video game.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it honestly is that easy, though. Like, how much plastic shit did they make for the Nintendo Wii over the years?
Honestly, my mom refused to get me any, and I'm glad she didn't because they made so much. I forget why, because at first, because when the Wii came out, it was revolutionary, right? Like I remember my mom helping me set it up, and she like pointed the Wii remote at the TV. She's like, "Oh wow, this is cool," and like Wii Sports was like one of the first games I've ever played with my mom, right?
Mm.
Because yeah, it was super cool just to do like motion controls. And they had like peripherals for literally every game and I wanted them and my mom refused to get me them. Now that I'm older, I'm like, she made the right decision.
Damn. Yeah, it's one of those things of like, you don't think your parent knows best when you're a kid. You're like, you don't know me, mom. And then, they
No.
do. and it was good.
And it recently happened to me again because I wanted to buy a Nintendo Labo, but I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? Nah, not a great decision.
Yeah,
And
I feel
now
like
that
there's a Scott the Woz that he did where he did the Nintendo Labo, and his thing was just basically like it was great, but for like 10 seconds, and then now it loses its charm after like an hour.
I was about to say, yeah. Although the robot suit looks cool, but I purposely didn't get it because I can guarantee with like 80% certainty that I wouldn't fit in it. Although I was excited about the Nintendo VR, like the Labo VR when I heard about it, because I'm like, oh, Nintendo doing VR? It's Nintendo, the most creative minds on the market right now. What are they gonna do? It's like, hey, do you want to watch a Smash Bros fight in VR?
Yeah, dude,
Okay, that's it.
100%. Yeah, that's it.
Goodbye.
Hey,
That's
why
like all
not?
you could do with it.
Ah, shit, dude. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's a great idea to me. I don't know what you're getting so wrapped up about.
Bro, I honestly thought they were gonna do something with Pokemon Snap with it. I'm pretty sure they haven't yet.
Like, how are they not though? Because I feel like that would be like the perfect game, right? For Pokemon, especially for Pokemon Snap. The other thing I think would be perfect is like if you could use the peripheral for like, what is it, the Wii U with the Nintendo Switch. You could like as the camera. How is that not a thing?
Because they did that in Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. For the Wii U, there was like 3 special levels where you hold the gamepad to your face, and it's like an on-rail shooter. And it was an okay time. And I was like, oh, Pokemon Snap on Wii U? And then it never happened. And now we have Pokemon Snap on Switch, which I'm pretty sure would be able to do the same thing. That still hasn't happened.
Man, I don't know. They need a Nintendo. Hire us or don't. I don't know. You can steal my ideas. I wouldn't know the difference, but fuck, like, do it. That's what I want. That's what I want. I would. You think about this relationship, right? If they just asked me to make them ideas randomly on this stupid podcast, and then all of a sudden they're just like making money left and right, and I would still pay for it too, because it's Nintendo.
Would they pay us though?
Nothing. That's the thing, right? We give them the ideas and then they steal it because you
know what?
We have no legal claim in Japan.
That's fine because I'll do anything for Super Mario Strikers 2. Well, there was already a 2. Super Mario Strikers 3. Bro, Mario Strikers is like the best spin-off game on Earth. And I'm not just saying that because it's soccer.
Oh yeah? You're not like Persona Dancing All Night kind of fan?
You know what? No, but I have played soccer in real life, and I think that makes me a pretty big fan of Mario Strikers.
Oh shit! A Mexican who's really into like soccer? No way! Way to break the mold there, Robinson.
No, forget my heritage.
This
is one of the best Mario spin-offs on Earth.
Yeah. Is it weird that like what is it? The widest quality that I have is that I actually enjoy golf.
So here's the thing, yes, but the fact that you played it in high school like validates it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, kind of though, yeah. Because here's the other problem that I have is that like I played golf. I think a couple of summers ago when we were in Montana. My dad and my sister or my brother-in-law was wanted to go play golf, and they were like, "Why don't you go? We'll have like a guys' day, right? A quote guys' day." I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And so I went with them, and then like I utterly demolished them, even though like I hadn't played golf in fucking years. Like it's one of those of apparently golf for me is like a natural talent, and it's one of those I'm just like, okay, sure, right? Like my dad's always commented on like how I could be a golf pro if I actually just like quit my job and started playing all the time. And I'm just like, that sounds like too much work. No, thank you.
Also, that sounds like a terrible idea.
I know, right? But
I'm gonna quit my job to play golf full time. Hopefully, somebody will sponsor me.
Hopefully, someone will sponsor me. I don't know. Even this fucking podcast is not taking off. I mean, hey, I enjoy the fact that we have like listeners that listen to us like basically every week because we at least get like between 5 to 8 every week, which is good for us. Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for that time when all of a sudden we do something stupid or do something like great. Then all of a sudden we have like 5,000 viewers or something like that. That's going to be like a weird thing.
Yeah, then that'll be fantastic. And fan number one, we hope you're there with us. Also, I was gonna ask, if you beat your dad in golf, doesn't that mean you never have to take out the trash again?
No, dude. Apparently, that just means I am now responsible for him when he, gets older and can't take care of himself. That's the Irish system, right? That's the very very way of, hey, you've now passed the torch. You're now the quote man of the family. Now you have to take care of me. So
in Mexican culture, it's like when the parents get old, they move in with the oldest son. So
I'm not the oldest son, so
oh wait, no, not oldest son, oldest child. Well, it used to be oldest son. We're slowly moving it to oldest child.
Ooh, great. Women's rights, breaking that glass ceiling. There you go. Get it, women. Now you can take care of your parents too.
Yep. So. You can take care of these. They're basically dogs, except you can't pet them.
Oh shit. I don't know. I think you could pet your parents. They'd be kind of
dare.
weirded out, right? But you could do it.
I wouldn't dare. I feel like the older my mom gets, the more dangerous she becomes because she becomes craftier.
Really?
Bro,
is she like planning? Is she like plotting your demise? Is she sitting there with like a bunch of other people like, how am I going to kill my son?
I mean, I think she's been doing that since I was born.
Great. I mean, isn't that like the wonderful thing about every parent is to see their child murder them, or I don't know, like the other vice versa. That'd be weird. I don't know how. Shit.
It's like that episode of Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson's will is, I give everything to the man or animal that killed me.
Damn right. Or like he has all his gold buried beneath a tree. And April finds it for some reason. Just like she finds it drunk. And dude, that show is so good. But
it's
honestly,
fantastic.
like, you know what else is a great show that apparently like I'm the only one who has ever heard of in the United States is Code Lyoko.
You know what? You might be correct. What's Code Lyoko?
So Code Lyoko was a French cartoon inspired by anime that came out in 2004, right?
Ooh.
So I was 14 at the time. I liked this show. I thought it was good. It is essentially a group of French children that live at like one of the French boarding schools, and there's this supercomputer that has this virus in it called Xana that wants to try and take over the world. And the kids, since they're the only ones that know about the computer, they get in this machine that digitizes them, and they go into a virtual world to fight this super villain computer shit, right? So it kind of reminded me of like a sci-fi version of Dragon Quest almost, and I was all for it, dude. I fucking loved this show. Okay. It was so good. And then guess what? I'm the only person who knows about it, and I'm sending you in the chat right now a picture of these bucking foreheads too, because I forgot about them.
No, I was literally about to say, because I googled Code Lyoko, and my first comment was, why the fuck are their foreheads so massive?
I don't know, man. Like, you think that they would just make their face just like smaller, right? But apparently, like, the person who created it, like or Plomo and Romain, the two French like creators, wanted to design anime characters that had more proportional body structures. But when you do that, but when you do the proportional body structures, right, it just looks weird in anime. Like, there's a reason why anime is like kind of like, okay, the eyes are really big, because when the eyes are really tiny, like an actual human, it looks disturbing in cartoon form, right?
And I was gonna say, body proportions. These kids are twigs.
Well, they're fucking like what, 14, 15 years old.
Damn.
So yeah, I perfectly resonated with this school. I perfectly resonated with this stuff, right? I love this show and it was great, but like literally no one in my friend group knew what Code Lyoko was. No one outside of France really knows what Code Lyoko is, and here I am, just this kind of weirdo fucking sitting in my room watching Code Lyoko on like the afternoon Toonami that later became like whatever the fuck it was after that, because they got rid of Toonami and then they made it like more kid friendly, but Code Lyoko stayed on, so it transitioned to like the underwater base with like this underwater monster and this little girl on Cartoon Network. It was kind of weird that they had those people as mascots for like afternoon cartoons. I can't even remember what that was called. God, what was that?
An underwater monster?
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm googling this right now, but still, Code Lyoko was right.
I'm about to tweet this image, audience, at NerdHellPodcast.com. I mean, / Twitter. I'm seriously
God, what was that?
Tweet
what
that
was
image.
that
What the hell?
called? Yeah, because it was like this thing like after school. Because it wasn't Toonami, it was Maguzy, Miguzi. Like, I'm not joking. This was the image that they instead of doing Toonami, they called it Maguzy, and I was like, ugh. Like, even as a kid, I was kind of like, dude, this is not great.
What the fuck?
Yeah, right. Because like
This
Cartoon
is another
Network.
thing that I'll be tweeting out later today.
Because what was it? From what I understand, is that apparently Toonami, when Toonami was on, right, it played Gundam, it played Cowboy Bebop, it played Outlaw Star, it played a lot of like, you know, anime that was really kind of more towards like teenagers and adults. But then Cartoon Network, for some reason, in 2005, 2006, decided that it was time for them to transition to a more younger audience, and so they named it Maguzy, and then, you know, transition to where Code Lyoko was then introduced and all this other shit that was going on. So yeah, like they got rid of like Dragon Ball Z was also removed.
What?
Like all the classics of Cartoon Network Afternoon from like Toonami were just gone. I was fucking devastated because remember, this is like 2005, 2006. So anime I had to watch on YouTube, and it had to be that day because like anime studios were vicious on YouTube back then and would take down or copyright strike any channel that posted like that afternoon. And so fan subs were obviously really big, and that the fan subs would be less than 10 minutes. Cause remember, YouTube had a less than 10-minute rule back then. And they also had like it in parts. So it was part 1, part 2, part 3, but sometimes part 2 would be missing. It'd be frantically searching, and then you find out that it was taken down, and so then you have to wait then for tomorrow for another person to upload the exact same thing you wanted to watch. So, yeah, dude, it was the Wild West for anime people and anime viewers back in like no, like in the early 2000s. It really was like, it was essentially one of those things of like, if you wanted to watch anime back then, you had to do fan subs, and you had to go to like the darkest recesses of YouTube in order to find it.
You basically needed a degree in Python if you wanted to watch anime.
Like, you had to even go to like those fan sub channels where they would rip it off of Japan and then fan sub it and then put it on like a server in North America. Like, there was one that I used called Kichi Anime Forever. And I remember Kichi Anime Forever because they had a forum, and there was a forum where you could do like role playing, like written down role playing games, but it was like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, but you would do anime shit. And then you even could like spar or fight with people if you were like a part of a different group of anime, because these anime groups would go in and then they would have different organizations. Like, there was a Bleach one that I was a part of, right? I was like the captain of the 11th squad, like the army people, right? And I could challenge like the nerds from that like Kingdom Hearts often, because they had an organization 13 that was in this like sub thing. But you would like, essentially you would write, so both people would write out their fights or that kind of thing online. It was fucking great. It was like the heyday. It was the golden age of my nerdy fandom, right? But I told fucking no one because it was not cool to be a fan back then.
That reminds me, like, if you were ever a little kid and like you were play fighting and you were an asshole, you can be like, I hit you with my fireball. No, because I had my water shield up.
No, like you could, like there were rules, right? There were rules to this, right? So you actually had to like think. You actually had to think of like there were rules that were laid out, and there were actual like judges that would actually be like who wrote better or who like had the better plan or that kind of stuff, right? So it was great. It was fucking great. Like, I learned how to do creative writing, from a fucking weirdo website about anime, right? So
there Stanley is accepting his PhD for his history degree, saying, "Thank you, whatever the forum's name was. You the skills I learned from sparring Kingdom Hearts fan 993 is what brought me here." I'll never forget that one time I wrote and I thrust a sword into his chest.
Damn, dude, I know you're making fun of me right now, but trust me when I say that this was actually one of like the best times that I ever had when I was a kid, especially because like I had almost no friends. Like I'm not joking, I literally had no friends.
I am making fun of you, but at the same time, I totally understand.
You totally understand. Yeah, you totally understand.
Bro, my version of that was like playing Webkinz with my sisters.
Like Webkinz with your sisters, right?
Bro,
yeah.
Webkinz was fun. I just didn't want to do it because it was girly.
You didn't want to do it because it was girly. Ooh boy, man.
My sisters, no. They had like 40 Webkinz dolls. Bro, Webkinz was like a household name, all right?
Yeah, no, I remember Webkinz because I used to do tutoring after school. Like I used to provide tutoring for other students, and it was one of like my side jobs that I had when I was a kid. And there was a kid who was in elementary school who was doing basic math and not doing really well. Mm-hmm. No joke, you put like 2 + 2 in front of this kid, and he'd be like, "I don't know." I'm like, dude. What do you mean you don't know? Just count it out, right? What's above 3 but less than 5? I don't know. And you'd be like, why? Okay, so if I put 2 M&Ms on the desk, right, and I put 2 M&Ms right over here, and then I combine them, how many M&Ms is that? I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Are you okay? Like, is there something wrong? Like, it literally concerned me. No, it's not even that, but like his mom one day, he went from like a 12, right, in his class to a 70, and he got a Webkinz as a prize, right, for doing well.
Yeah.
And I remember that, and I was just like, my mom would have like crucified me, right, if I had done anything except that. She would have crucified me like Jesus Christ on the abattoir of the altar, right? And I would have just been screaming, and she would have just been like, he failed his math test. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. He deserves this.
He deserves, yeah. He's a lazy son.
Now give me that crown of thorns.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
I know what's right for my son.
Dude, it's one of those of like the nerdy times I keep forgetting about, and then just randomly I'll sit there and I'll just be like, oh shit, I forgot about this.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
it'll just like
oh,
pop
that was
up.
a thing.
Yeah. And I just remember sitting there one day and I was like reading about like, what was it? Stalingrad, right? And I just remember like, oh shit, my character background from the forums. And then, right. And so it was one of those things of just like, yeah, it was the early thousands, dude. The early thousands. It was such a weird time to live
through. The Wild West of anime.
Yeah, because Savannah showed me this really interesting thing. Like she's into some of like the other like creators on YouTube that are around. And did you know that there was like straight up Disney pro-war propaganda that happened like in 2001?
Wait, 2001? What war was in 2001?
The one that we just got out of, Robinson.
Oh,
you know, Afghanistan?
Never mind. I thought it was like the beginning of a war, not the ending of a war.
No, I'm talking like Disney Channel literally had all their actors from famous shows at then, like Even Stevens, Kim Possible, The Proud Family, the voice actors and all these people. They would come in and they would sit down, and then Disney Channel would be like, how do you express yourself? And then they would just fucking talk about the American flag. Like, I'm not joking. They would just sit there and go, the American flag reminds me of, like, happiness and creativity. And, like, I see all the flags when we're driving through the county, and it makes me really happy. And it's like, it ends with, Disney wants you to express yourself and be proud of our nation. And it was like, now it's straight up war propaganda, right? Like, it's straight up one of those of just like, oh no, because I remember too. It was like weird. It was they had Hillary Duff also promoting this war propaganda. So I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you a fucking link to this because it's honestly one of the greatest things, one of the cringiest things that I have ever had to relive through.
All I can imagine is like Mickey Mouse walking out and like stroking the actors' heads, going, "Good boy."
Yeah, Disney propaganda, right? It just as Disney's done war propaganda back in World War II and that kind of stuff. When they had Donald Duck fighting basically like this Japanese soldier who looked like a fucking bat. Like it's like the racist depictions of like, Japan and Germany. And they even had like Donald Duck, quote, living a life in the day of a Nazi and then life being fucking terrible.
I remember it was like, "Oh, coffee, don't mind if I do." And they like give him like 3 beans and they're like, "That's all the rations you get."
Yeah, dude, like it was one of those things of like they were talking about the flag so much and I was like, what is this? Why is this a thing? And then I start remembering it and all of a sudden I'm just like, oh no, I remember this. I remember this so bad. It was one of those, I'm just like, I don't know what this is. Why would you do this?
I will say, I find like old war propaganda cartoons like really interesting for some reason, like almost charming in a way, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but war propaganda from cartoons and political cartoons as a standpoint is like minor, right? But these are actual real people in a commercial that was promoted every single commercial break on Disney. This is creepier than that, right? Because
that one's weird. That one's weird.
Yeah. Because, like, they also had Laura Bush on, and Laura Bush was talking about how you need to be proud to be an American and that kind of shit. And I'm here, and it's like, 11-year-old Stanley just sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is anyone talking about this day? Like, I was, 11-year-old Stanley was just like, Pokemon, anime, Pokemon, oh shit, cartoons, right? So... I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't even know where Afghanistan was. The only reason I knew where Afghanistan was is because my brother was in the military as a pilot, and he had to had to go deploy over there. So
what? This is a perfect time for one of my favorite Alex Jones quote. Corrupt the child.
Did you know that Jar Jar Binks has a Caribbean black accent? That's my favorite. That's my favorite one for that Alex Jones says, and I know that we said that a while ago, but still, I need to come on the show like next week with just a whole bunch of out of context Alex Jones.
You know what? In context, it's not too much of a difference.
In context, it's worse, right? In context, it's much worse. Like he has someone who listens to like Knowledge Fight, that podcast that talks about Alex Jones. I'm frequently just kind of like, oh my God, what are you doing? Are you snorting Adderall and then going on your show? What are you doing, my guy? Like, I can't, I don't know.
More power to him.
You ever notice that Alex Jones looks like a thumb? Like, he straight up looks like a sentient thumb.
Didn't he promote like a weight gainer or like a pre-workout?
Yeah, he promoted like a pre-workout called like Super Male Vitality, but... There was also another one called Super Female Vitality, and apparently the Super Female Vitality, like they had to stop selling it because it made women horny, and that's his.
Oh damn it! I'm 58-35. My noise level spiked for that one. But no, I was literally about to say, good. I hope that's what it does.
But like the weirdest part about it is I remember watching, because Savannah and I listen to it when we take Cash out for walks, right? And so there was one time, because I've been listening to all the old episodes from like 2017 to whatever, because it started during Trump's presidency when Alex Jones was actually relevant in society. And there's one part where he sits there and he gets a bunch of Super Female Vitality, which is in a vial, right? So it's in like a little eyedropper kind of thing. And he takes a full vial and he puts it on a sandwich and eats it in front of people on air. And so he's like, they tell people, you need to stop eating Super Female Vitality, Alex. And I just say, hey, I like how it makes me feel. I'm like, dude, that's like the same thing people say with heroin.
And he's taking the female one, not the male
Yeah,
vitality?
no, he's taking the
Alex.
super female vitality. He's like, it's okay for men to do. And
Alex, they have a male one.
I know, just take the male one, right? But still, yeah. So shout out to Knowledge Fight, like we'll ever be on their podcast, right? So
Shout out to Alex Jones. That's who I'm giving my shout out to.
Alex Jones, nah, fuck that guy. He can go straight to hell.
Yeah, exactly. On Nerd Hell Podcast.
No, I would never have him on. I would refuse. I'd say no. Fuck this guy. No, Alex Jones can eat a fucking massive ton of
Alex
like,
Jones,
iron spikes.
Have me on InfoWars. We'll take male power enhancer 2000 together. We'll snort it off each other.
What if we went on InfoWars and just like belittled the entire experience? Like when Alex Jones goes, what do you guys believe about the globalists? We'll just sit there and be like, wait, you still believe that there are globalists?
You know what?
Have you not heard about the international spacists?
And
like,
I wouldn't do that. What I would do is I would just be myself, and I'd say, what's a globalist, real quick? Like, I think I would just piss him off by my lack of knowledge in all things political.
Yeah, or just like rework it around and be like, yeah, that's what they want, is that the globalists want you to have such bad abortion laws, because then guess what? All of a sudden you have these women dying, which lowers the population, which is what they want, Alex. So you got to have open and free abortion. Yes. So
less
like
women,
just do
good.
it, do craziness, but like from the opposite end of it.
Bro, with less women, I can have more female power vitality thing.
With less women,
I
can take
called.
more super female vitality.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's all mine.
Dude, he intrigues me in the same way that someone being lit on fire intrigues me. Like, I know it's bad to watch, and I know it's awful to hear, like, his shit, and I don't believe in anything that he says, but he's one of these people who, he is a professional. Like, he can get up there and just talk and talk and talk and not do anything, and I kind of admire that as someone who has been known for being a ranter, but he does it for 4 hours. Like, he does it for 4 hours, and he's always like, we're going to cover some news. And then he never gets to the news. Like, he's just like, we're going to cover some news. But before I cover some news.
Gave me tits, and I couldn't be happier.
I get my own milk at morning. It's from Alex the Table.
It's protein milk. You heard of muscle milk? Alex milk.
Oh, my God. Fuck no. All right, dude. You got
Please have me on.
You got any more short stories? I'm done talking about this fucker, this living human thumb.
So not a short story, but since we're running out of time, we can make it a short story. So a very popular rumor right now, Nintendo is going to be expanding Switch online services with Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles.
I did hear about this.
Yeah.
I was excited. Yeah.
So we got like 3 different sources that seem to be pretty knowable. Nate the Hate podcast, where a knowing insider called Nate Drake talks about how Nintendo might be adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles. Also from the giant data mine that happened in Nintendo back in 2019, I believe, which revealed emulators inside of the NES app. Nintendo Life themselves claims that they confirmed their own sources for Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles. And the same thing with Eurogamer. Eurogamer has separately said that Game Boy and Game Boy Color games are headed to the Nintendo Switch. Now, me personally, I never had a Game Boy. I had an Advance. Well, I didn't even have an Advance. I had the Game Boy SP, which was a Game Boy Advance, but you could fold it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously I had a Game Boy Color, right? Because it was 1997 and my mom felt bad for me, right? That whole story. Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, what Game Boy games or Game Boy Color games would you want on the Switch if this rumor is true?
Pokemon Yellow. I'm actually like interested in playing like some of the old Game Boy like RPGs. So yeah, Pokemon Yellow would be interesting.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
For some reason, Game Boy has like the treasure trove of like, you need to play this RPG.
Yeah. Yeah, of course they do, right?
For me, it's I've been asking for this since forever. because I don't like I said, I never owned a Game Boy, so these are just Game Boy Advance games. But bring back Mega Man Battle Network. That game was so much fun. Cut out 80% of the dialogue.
Oh shit! I just realized I can actually play like Dragon Warrior 3, Dragon Warrior 2, and Dragon Quest, like the original on Game Boy, right? Like it's
Yeah,
coming, right? That's
bring
it.
that
Like
to
that's
Switch.
awesome. Hell yeah! No, I'm gonna. Man, I'm about to like overdose on Dragon Quest. I'm not joking. No, I'm serious. Like I'm not
No, it's
like this
because
is one of those things of like there are very like I go through like random times where I get obsessed, right? Where there's media that I get obsessed with and that's becomes my life, right? Like Dark Souls was one of the things, and then like I still like Dark Souls, right? But I'm not as obsessed with it as like last year. And then like Dragon Quest is not like Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, and like that's kind of what's going on right now with me is that I'm in my current obsession. It's like I go through these cycles of where I remember that something exists and then I get obsessed with it for a while and then like I chill out for a bit and then I'm like, oh shit, I remember this is a thing, and then I get back to being obsessed with it.
for me that's
So
One Piece. I'll like watch 100 episodes of One Piece and forget about it for 4 months.
and then you're like, oh shit, One Piece exists.
Yep, I need to continue. I am
Damn.
so behind. But then again, when did you start watching One Piece? I've been watching one episode a day, starting 3 years ago, and I'm still behind.
Dude, they have like what, 800 episodes or some kind of shit like that?
900 something.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they're close to being 1,000 episodes in. It's almost like untenable as a way to get into a fandom, especially something like One Piece.
And also because like One Piece was the first anime that I got addicted to, right? So I didn't notice that episodes 1 to 300 was filler.
Yeah. No. The series 1 to 300 is filler.
Bro, now yeah, now that I'm older, I'm like, huh, this show had a shit ton of filler in it, didn't it?
Oh.
Because you watch something like Jujutsu Kaisen, which I recommend to everybody, um, and they tell like so much story within like only 24 episodes. And it's like they can fit like it's one of those animes where like they can fit an entire week in one episode, and they can make a fight last 5 episodes, and it feels just as good, right? And then I watch One Piece. Well, they fit like every interaction is a 6 episode ordeal, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like, awesome TV show doesn't have 1,000 episodes that might be able for people to watch and marathon through? Code Lyoko.
Go Lyoko. Once you get past those goddamn Modoc sized foreheads.
You get used to the animation style really quickly. Like, what was it? I watched, like, the Dragon Prince, like, which was supposed to be, like, from the creators that did Avatar, but they decided to do, like, a 3D animation style. The first few episodes were kind of jarring because they were really, like, jaggedy and, like, would glitch some randomly through some things. But then I got used to the animation style, and it was actually a really good story. So, yeah, I recommend that one, too. Dragon Prince.
Nice.
Go support the people who made Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Unless it's M. Night Shyamalan. Do not support him after what he's done to me.
No, I refuse to see anything that he's done anymore. I'm not going to give that man money.
Okay,
I'm really not.
I will say forgive him because Split and Glass were fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
M.
Well,
M. Night Shyamalan is also a man with multiple personalities. Sometimes he's a great director, sometimes he's not.
great.
Speaking of
Awesome.
which, I'm gonna watch Shang-Fi, Legends of 10 Dragons, or whatever it's called. And
Well, I'm
I'll be
sorry. What did you call it?
Shang-Fi, The Legend of the 10 Dragons, the Marvel movie.
Yeah, Robinson. I don't think that's what it's called.
It's not what it's called. But I will say this. I appreciate that Marvel is going out of its way to get these obscure characters because I'm a massive Marvel nerd, right?
Yeah.
And I've only like heard of this guy. And I have no idea where he's from, so I can't wait to go into something completely blind, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I really hope that it's actually kind of good because what was that? I was really, really upset about the Iron Fist series. It was really bad.
It was not good.
It was awful.
And also, I'm hoping like this is like structured like an old kung fu movie, where it's like character is comfortable. Oh no, bad thing happened. 7-minute fight scene. All right, now we go to a new location. 7-minute fight scene. We introduce a love interest. 7-minute fight scene that makes her fall in love with you. Now we escape together. 7-minute fight scene at the hotel. You confess all the issues to her, and she falls in love deeper. 7-minute fight scene. Ah. I honestly love those movies so much, and I hope this is one of them, because from the trailers, it seems like they're gonna go super heavy into hand-to-hand combat, and I loved choreography. How do I say that? Well, choreographed.
Sorry. You got me fucking saying it now too. God damn it. Choreography.
Yeah, I love good choreography. God.
Choreography. Yeah.
Corey in the houseography.
Choreography.
I love fantastic choreography when it comes to fight scenes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite examples is the Kingman series. And it looks like they're going this way just from the trailers alone. I'm seeing a lot of hand-to-hand stuff, not a lot of like superpower missiles flying around. So
okay.
I'm excited for that. I love good fight scenes.
Yeah, sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I got a pizza that's about to pop up my door, so I think that we should probably end it.
You know what? And I think you're gonna have a better time than I will, because pizza never disappoints. All right.
Well, I mean, it is one of my few days that I can eat more than one meal after OMAD, right? So I'm going to use it. But still, hey, all our listeners, listen to our Movie Better podcast. Listen to whatever, or don't. Yes. Right? I don't know who you are. I can't control what you do.
Follow us on Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
Do you follow on Twitter?
Podcast.
Yes.
Do I don't have a Twitter. No. You're the one that does like the Twitter shit, right?
And I'm still learning.
Right? Okay, great.
I'm a very special go to hell. I'm gonna give it to the writing team for Mega Man Battle Network. Like, fuck you guys for making my 7-year-old self read like 15 minutes worth of cutscenes every
that's
hour.
Because you are not a JRPG fan then, I guess, because that's like the average, man. Damn.
Yeah, probably not. But Mega Man Battle Network is so fun.
Okay, great. Well, then I'm just going to go ahead and agree with you. I'll see you in hell, Mega Man.
Bye.
Bye.